What my son saw shouldn't have happened. Unnoticed, just imagine you get out of the shower with a towel, falls off your body, and immediately your son shows up and does things about that no one could have imagined. Listen what will happen next. It all started. One day I came from a stunning supermarket after weekly shopping, feeling exhausted. Santiago's son is still at the football match with his friends, and I'm sure that completely alone. I decided to continue doing sports in your room in a warm place. At home in the bathroom, it was playing at full volume. My favorite music enveloping me, making you feel like you're in the atmosphere. Lonely, and hot water flowed down my, washing away sweat and tiredness. I noticed how the steam softened my muscles and relaxed every part of my. However, a light shiver ran down the back of the body. Chill, strange feeling as if behind someone is watching me. I looked at side of the door but didn't see anything unusual. It's just mine imagination, I said to myself, turning off device, thinking, continuing to enjoy the water that fell on me. Came out of in the bathroom. I wrapped myself in a towel, barely covered my body without worrying about nothing else, and went to her room, quietly enjoying the atmosphere, which I felt while walking there. Alone across the living room, I noticed that the main door of the house is ajar. I am on. I stopped for a moment, thinking that maybe left it closed incorrectly. When I came back from the supermarket, although it seemed strange to me, chose not to pay attention to it and continued on his way to the room, still feeling relaxed after the shower and the heat of the bath. Once inside, I dropped things, slowly left his body under. I was filled with the heat of the light coming through the window. Naturally moved in search of clothes in the closet, not paying attention to what's in the panties. Or not just when I was choosing. I felt something strange. I felt like someone was watching me in the bathroom. I am this. I felt. I turned to the window, and Santiago saw. His gaze ran over every corner of my body with amazement that held him motionless, as if mine had stopped. My heart was beating wildly, and there was an unpleasant heat rose from my chest, even from my face. Santiago didn't bat an eye, as if trapped in the moment that none of us could. He didn't move to control it right away. His gaze seemed consuming, detailed while he remained with. I tried to quickly cover the windows, but he already saw it, and to be honest, I don't care. We wanted to cover ourselves up after all. Both of us are familiar with this warm, good feeling. With these words, he walked away awkwardly, as if the impact of what he had just did kept him in a trance. The damage was that moment that changed everything. The beginning of something that never was. Something that will lead us along the path from where there is no return. I pulled the hinge. I fell silent. My mind was full of questions, which I didn't dare answer. Why did my body react this way? Why did I feel something abnormal? Why is this your son? I repeated to myself repeatedly, trying. I drown out the whirlwind of emotions that frightened me. Finished getting dressed, trying to restore control over the situation, but inside me was preserved anxiety. As I walked down, my mind kept reminding me of the stairs. I thought about it from the bathroom, but the thought tormented me. In the room, I found Santiago sitting, trying to behave. I approached him directly, normally. Topics. Why didn't you tell me when Santiago arrived? And looked up nervously. The music was too loud, he replied, with a slight smile, and I was doing something by the window. Insisted, trying to remain calm. I was just checking if it was raining. Answered quickly, although he wasn't entirely convincing. Before he could say anything, Jorge, my husband, came home, interrupting conversation with his usual enthusiasm and saying that he had planned a vacation for us. For three of us, it will be an opportunity. Disconnect and spend time together. I was surprised by his news, and although I tried to pick joy, my thoughts were focused on what happened a few minutes ago, feeling that something inside me changed forever. The days dragged on slowly after that unpleasant meeting, despite the fact that I tried to behave normally, but I couldn't not to notice that I seemed different too. In the kitchen, his gestures were more attentive than usual, and once casual glances, now it seemed like they were analyzing everything. Movement. I became bolder, but always secretly on the edge. I behaved like I was crossing an invisible boundary, as if I didn't notice, but inside me, all this was not a negative concern. I mean, I enjoyed it, I had it. Internal conflict in consciousness that day. Music happened, told myself that it was better. It's impossible to leave it all behind. Happened to me again one night. I said in a quiet voice to myself in the mirror. However, I wasn't even completely convinced. Sometimes I even caught myself joking to myself about the situation as if this could diminish its importance Since then, every time I took a shower I locked myself. The door, and made sure Santiago didn't, was nearby, but even in those moments, he smiled at me with caution, with a mysterious look that made me think. I always tried to push these thoughts away. Your self-day trip planned, Jorge. Finally came packing our suitcases. We try to act like a family, usually I do. Was in a short skirt that fit perfectly for comfort in while traveling until Santiago noticed this before me, and although he tried to hide it, his eyes lingered for a moment on. At this scene Jorge's face lit up. He didn't continued without paying attention to anything. Give instructions regarding the trip. The situation, although not long-term, left a tangible tension about which none of us mentioned but which was present between us when we were driving. In the car we were happy and relaxedly sang songs, getting rid of from bad moods and enjoying a feeling of escape from routine. Thanks for this, Jorge, sincerely said I. While we were driving he smiled with a real smile. We need this, Dad. I think this will work. Benefit us all, he added enthusiastically. Santiago saw this place and saw music. I noticed that Santiago sometimes looked at my feet while I was sitting in. I tried to hide it in the car, but the attention was obvious. I took action on my part, naturally laughing and commenting as if nothing was supposed to happen, but